Hello, folks. We're nearing the end of Babylon 5 Season 1, and tonight we do need to finish a little bit from Babylon Squared, the epic episode that spans multiple seasons. That one we did last week, so check it out if you haven't already. But we'll be finishing that and then doing the next one, the penultimate episode in Season 1, the quality of mercy. A lot to talk about here. The great June Lockhart guest stars. Uh, Stephen Franklin gets to really stretch out and do some stuff. So, yeah, it's a great episode. So, a lot to talk about. Corporal punishment or capital punishment and healing devices, all sorts of cool stuff. So, I am going to introduce the panel. First and foremost, my lady, good lady wife. Okay, let's get the right. Here she is, right? That's you.
Yep, yep.
That's good. Yes. So we do have a little announcement that we'll make when we start the slides and stuff too. We have some sad news for some folks, but I think I'll introduce everybody else first, and then we can get on to that. Um, oh yes. Who else do we have here? Well, we got this guy. This guy's a little bit new, so I want to thank you all for showing him much love last week. He was very popular, so he's back again. So here we go. That would be this gentleman right here, Dutch Gradient. Hello, sir.
Yay! Dutch gradient.
Heidely ho, everyone.
Deutsche Aguardiente or something like that.
What? No, no, that makes no sense.
No, well, he taught us last week that, Dutch angles are really German. So
Yes.
another one of those Deutsche
And
misinterpretations.
since I'm a quarter Dutch and a quarter German, I figured the name really fits.
Well, here's a 100% Brit right here. There we go. How are you doing, Colin?
I'm okay, folks. I trust you all had a good Valentine's Day or similar
that could be a
Friday?
controversial subject.
or
depending on how
whatever alternative.
Well, we went out to Liza's parents' place for a little bit of dinner. But yeah, we had a good time. I mean, as you get older,
It's
it
also
kinda
Lawrence's
changes.
birthday, Valentine's Day. That's what he
Oh,
means.
happy birthday, Lawrence.
Yes.
All right,
Look,
and then
at least he's never got an excuse to forget. I had a Valentine's Day, or
Nope.
and you have no excuse to forget his birthday.
That's right.
yeah,
That's right. No excuses on either side.
nope, no excuses. And speaking of which, that's the motto of this gentleman.
One rabbit suit coming right up. Look. Jesus Christ! I warned you.
No excuses, Istophobos.
Yeah, my problem was never forgetting birthdays or holidays. It was always knowing which day it was. So there's still excuses to be had.
Yeah, they're all different because, well, I mean, birthdays are always a date, but some holidays are like the last Thursday in the month or the second Monday and all that sort of stuff. Those
Yep.
are the ones that throw me off.
No, I'm with Istophobos. I mean, there was one
Yeah.
year I nearly missed my mother's birthday because I forgot that it was Thursday. I knew her birthday was Thursday. I forgot it was Thursday.
It happens.
Yeah.
I nearly
It-
forgot my sister's birthday because Facebook didn't remind me.
At some point, you just you stop really celebrating Valentine's Day.
Yeah, oh yeah,
You can go find a random woman and offer her half your money in your house if you really feel up to it. But otherwise, I'd just rather stay in.
yeah.
Well, that's a cheery way of looking at it. So anyway, gentlemen, this is where we left off, and I'm going to basically go with you guys as far as how quickly you'd like to finish Babylon Squared. But last week, of course, we got to see or talk about the first half of, it's really a three-parter. The one episode, Babylon Squared, and then later in season 3, I believe it is, War Without End, which has 2 parts, all covering kind of like the same moment in time. But in Babylon Squared, we do have this subplot where Delenn is being reined in by her Grey Council. They want her to be the leader, but it seems to be like more of a type of a promotion to get her out of the way. They don't really want her on Babylon 5 anymore because they don't trust what's coming, this prophecy, which, the viewer is gradually being filled in on. It's happening little by little. So at this point, they're talking about a prophecy, and they don't say that outright. They're trying to basically make it look like we want you to be our leader, and we want you here. We want you at home in this spaceship that flies around with a Grey Council in it. So that's basically the idea, and this is where she is arguing to not have to stay there. And so there you go. How do you know? Well, go ahead, Colin.
No, I was going to say it's just occurred to me. It reminds me of a historical fact that back in sort of the medieval period, kings wouldn't necessarily always live in the capital. They would travel around the country, literally taking their court with them.
Wow.
Which is similar. I would imagine it's similar to what they're doing here. I would imagine they're traveling around the Minbari Empire. I don't know, but certainly something that is based on a real method of governing Earth history.
Yeah, it's kind of like a deep underground bunker, except it's out in space.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the other way of putting it. It's a hard target. Yeah, it's a moving target. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, basically the whole thing is that she says she's following her heart. She believes that this prophecy is going to not only come true, but she knows what her role is in this prophecy, and it's very important. So that kind of overrides her desire to be a leader. She wants to serve, basically serving in the form of this prophecy, which the viewer doesn't quite know what it's going to be yet. They've had some hints. There was a little telepath girl that mentioned something about a chrysalis, but that's about all they know so far. Okay, so I think what we're going to do...
That line there, with the one slide back,
Yep.
Hurt them, they only come back stronger. It reminds me of a line I picked up from a webcomic called Schlock Mercenary. That which does not kill me has made a tactical error.
Yeah, that's a good line. But yeah, that's what they're saying about the humans. They kept fighting during the Earth Minbari War, even though they knew they were losing and didn't seem to have any chance of winning. They just kept fighting, and they just keep coming back stronger. And so that's one thing she appreciates about them. But that's basically... her arguments are basically going to take form by the end of the season. So it's only 2 more episodes. And then the viewer gets to see what was being prophesized. Anybody want to comment here? Should I just move along?
Well, there's a little more, like, it starts getting very hard to discuss this when you're thinking in terms of spoilers and stuff that you might not.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, because of the scene that she had with Sinclair about the Vorlons, you have to assume that the Minbari used to work very closely with the Vorlons, but that hasn't been for some time now. But she still has direct contact with Kosh, presumably some sort of a friendship or working relationship. And he is directly involved in things that are subject of the prophecies. So for her, it's not simply a matter of faith. It can almost be a matter of fact and of history.
Yeah.
Since she knows Kosh and he was there. So, like I said, we'll talk about it vague. So, but it's certainly interesting. You can see the perspective, and this will come up again, of other Minbaris thinking that she's a narcissist, that she has some fantasy about her being the chosen one. But she knows some things that she was told. But even so, Kosh himself is going to make sure to determine whether she's the right person. And all of that has come later. Like I said, I want to be vague about it, but it's still worth mentioning.
But it is. And here, this is another thing that's not popular with the general Minbari leadership, the other members, is this concept that we humans, the Earthers, are the future. And there's some information that she knows, at least, that the audience doesn't know yet about the relationship between the Minbari and the Earthers. But right now, the Minbari, most of them think of, well, we're just more powerful than them. We had to surrender. Half of them know why, half of them don't. And and so it's like, it's one of those things, they just still don't quite like it. But why you?
Well, technically speaking, a third of them know why, a third of them don't know why, and a third of them we don't know what they know. But that third hasn't been counted at this point in the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. But that was off of my calculations. It's my calling, she says, and it's the path that her heart leads her on.
I find this slide here, or the previous one, actually, you just moved past it. Just it's another point out that bald women in sci-fi seem to work in a way that they don't necessarily work in real life, but it's making me glad that they didn't stick with the original design of Delenn.
Well, if they remade
Agreed. Yeah.
They remade it. She'd be played by Cynthia Erivo.
Well, it was still her, but the makeup was definitely I think it was cool what they were going for. We had talked about it, but it just wouldn't have played well on TV. Agreed. It would have been a hard watch for a season.
Yeah.
And because the result would have resembled nothing like what we saw, I'm not sure it would have been as powerful as what we ended up getting. That's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to spoil.
Well, here's the risk with her conviction of wanting to follow through with this prophecy and remain on Babylon 5, is that if she rejects their decision now, obviously she probably won't get a chance at saying she regretted that. You may not even be allowed back here again. That's basically what they're threatening.
Well, every choice that every character makes in this show comes with a cost. There is never any freebies.
You could become outcast.
What, you mean there are actual consequences? No wonder they can't play this film these days.
Yeah, that must be why modern people can't relate to the show. Exactly. Like you can, every decision comes with its consequences, and every grab for power has its price. Every grab for peace has its price. Everything.
Yeah, but that sword swings both ways, because this council, the way they're talking, will also have consequences.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Jay Goodwin has seen that as well. Yeah, I mean, it's throughout the story at different moments, but here it's her convictions versus, the other people in power there. And she's being told that, you may be outcast. You may be like not welcome here anymore or anything like that. So that's serious consequences.
Yeah, and I very much get the impression that while they are, we've talked about she's being promoted to bring her back into the fold, they also sort of want her to tell them what to do because they don't really know what to do without her. And the consequence that they face immediately on this is kind of like, well, shit, what do we do now?
Well, this prophecy that they know, or at least kind of know about, a lot of them don't trust it. Delenn has faith in this prophecy, but the audience doesn't quite know what it is yet. It's about to be revealed, but the thing is, they're seeing her stand up for it, but it seems like the council is in this situation where they don't know whether to believe it or not. They don't know what to do about it. But the one thing they don't like is, Delenn being cozy with humans and, and maybe going ahead with this prophecy willingly. It's like they said, prophecy will take care of itself. If it's going to happen, it'll just happen. You don't have to make it happen. Well,
the thing is, it also occurs to me that, in fact, although we know now where this is going to go, in an earlier episode, one of the ones that we actually skipped over and barely touched, someone following their deeply held convictions did not have good results, did it, Dr. Franklin? In Believers.
Oh yeah, the one with
the aliens and the sick kid.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we barely touched that, but yeah.
We went over it because we just talked about briefly and saying it's a tough one. It's a tough one to talk about.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
But yeah, that one was one that definitely had consequences too. This council has spoken. We will withdraw and make our decision. So
it would have been funny. Her last line in this episode could have easily been, "This is prophecy taking care of itself. Fuck off."
Well, yeah, prophecy taking care of itself is one of those things where if you're part of it, your free will still needs to be, extended for prophecy to happen. I mean? You still got to do what you got to do.
Here's a question, though. She's being allowed to go back to Babylon 5 to act as an ambassador.
Well,
Why?
She is ultimately.
Yeah. Why? I mean, they obviously did not want her doing that. That's why they brought her back here, to make her leader. But now, not only are they letting her remain in the gray, they're letting her go back. They could easily say, okay, you reject the decision, you're out of the gray, and you're not going back.
Yeah, because they don't have that much conviction. They're kind of lost. They need to be told what to do. They would rather have her on Babylon 5 than completely out of it, because they don't really know what's going on. They don't understand it. They want her close, but they still need her. They know they need her. They can't just kick her out. They're too scared to.
Yeah, they don't know what to do. So, but the thing is, they're basically trying to say, we're not so sure about you following through with this prophecy. How about you just lead us a bit? Because they do want her as a decision maker in a way. And then it also gives them later the ability to say, well, we did it your way and look what happened.
They want to play both sides because they're cowards.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't panic.
Like any good administrator would do. Just like that.
Well, this is what's happening back on Babylon 4. We're getting these flashes here where, well, no, these aren't flashes. This is actually happening. They're basically getting all the people out of there. And it has to be like 5 at a time in some ships and stuff like that. So they're basically parceling out all the people. And so that's what happens. It's mostly an action scene. So that's all I got from it. What is this? What is the device you handed over? Time stabilizer. They're talking with Zathras again. And so I want to know about his time stabilizer. Basically, this is where he speaks about someone that's having problems with their time stabilizer, we won't know more about that until season 3. But this is where it
Hang
kind of-
on, folks.
yeah. But they're getting the idea that these people are trying to take the station. They need it for a great war that is on the side of light, and it just seems like it's like there's a lot of significance to it, and so but they're actually talking about, this is kind of related to what happened to our pilot. He died of old age because he was unstuck in time. So it's one of those things where you got to be very careful about what you're doing around tachyon emissions. All right, and so they're going on about the stabilizer. So we might as well just keep trucking through here. How about gradient? You just take a look at the screen. If there's something you want to talk about, just let me know. Same to everybody else, but I'm just going to rely on you to be my eyes in case there's something we should stop on here. But basically, yeah, the major there just mostly wants Zathras as evidence. He's the only evidence he has of weird stuff going on. And then Zathras is talking about, he is also making a sacrifice here. He gave his time stabilizer away to help the One.
Hey, he said it. He said it already. We live for the One. We would die for the One.
Mm-hmm. And that One was in the spacesuit, and so he gave away his time stabilizer. So things don't look good for Zathras.
The one was Frank Paul. Or was
Frank Poole, yeah.
Wrong colour.
This pointed out last night. No, I thought Dave Bone was in the red. I thought Frank Paul was in the blue, wasn't it? Didn't we do that last week? Or was it the other way around?
Yeah.
The suits were orange and yellow.
Were they?
Yeah. Well, Frank
Oh.
Poole basically ended up being like splat
Yeah.
all over the
No, I
inside.
thought one of them was a blue one.
No. No, Frank Poole came back in the year 3000 and something.
Okay.
He got hit. He didn't go splat. He got frozen, and they found him 1,000 years later.
Oh, well, I know that he lost his oxygen tube, but doesn't that mean pretty much your blood boils and freezes at the same time, and all sorts of splatterings should happen, I think.
Well, it didn't actually indicate that he lost pressure, just his oxygen, and I guess presumably his thermal management, because they found a pool sickle out in the orbit of Neptune in the last book of the series. It was 3001 or 36, one of those.
3001.
Yeah.
2062 was the third book, then 3001. I think.
Yeah.
Well, that's good for Frank.
Yeah. Yeah. They brought him back to Earth. They thawed him out. They gave him a brain cap and tried to integrate him into society.
Well, looks like
the monoliths were on their way to destroy Earth. But
oh no.
Yeah, bummer.
Monoliths always cause trouble. Makes apes wanting to fight ape.
Yeah, it was a miscommunication caused in the large amount of time it took for communications to go back and forth to the other side of the galaxy. So
maybe we should build a statue to that.
That's actually true. That is the story in the book. So
no, that's cool. That's cool. I didn't read the books beyond 2010. I think I got 2069, but I didn't read it all the way through. Remember Zathras? Yes, we shall remember. Okay, all right, that's enough of this. This guy, is just, that's his angle. He wants to keep Zathras as evidence, and Zathras doesn't look.
Take Zathras away, Zathras die. Leave Zathras, Zathras die. Either way, is not good for Zathras.
Yep. Yeah, it's an excellent line there.
Yeah.
No. You're willing to die? This is the thing. Yeah. Sinclair is always interested in those things about like sacrifice and everything. He's looking for his own way to serve in life, basically. And being commander of Babylon 5 isn't quite all of it. He feels there's more that he could be doing, and he's been looking for it. And he'll get his option. He'll get his opportunity. But anyway, but he is impressed by that. that Zathras is willing to sacrifice his life for this. Okay. Either way, Zathras dies. Bad for Zathras. Okay. We keep moving. And then there's a time flash, and we get Garibaldi back on Mars with Lise Hampton, I think was her original name. And yeah, she is.
No, I think that was her married name. Honestly, I'm not sure now.
Edgar's was the more recent one. That's in the future.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know what
Lise
Franz's
Edgar's.
last name. I don't know
Yeah.
what Franz's name was. But anyway, it wasn't Lise Hilton, though, at least. So there she is. Now, Garibaldi's back. This is where it was a great way to kind of fill in some more of Garibaldi's backstory. We already kind of know from some other episodes, but this fleshes it out more. Basically, he got this communication with Sinclair. He has this chance to start over in his career and maybe really prove himself this time, because other ops didn't go well for him, and he had a drinking problem and everything. But she's saying, I'm part of your life. It was rough 5 years or whatever, but I was part of it, and you can't just turn your back on it. You can't just go away and expect everything's going to be new and easy. In any case, she wants
Her
to be
last
part
name
of it.
is her last name is Hampton.
All right, very good. And she does not want to go to Babylon 5. So that's the stipulation. It's like, stay here. We have a life here. But at this moment, he doesn't know where he is in time. He's just having this flash, but his mind is still, back on Babylon 4. So he's like, what's going on? What are you doing here? And she's thinking of it as like, okay, this guy's just detached in the conversation. And so it doesn't go well.
Well, it does lead an interesting question though. Is okay, so obviously the flashbacks are actual flashbacks. They are not memories. But in which case, wouldn't the fact that they flashed back affect?
Well, some of them go forward,
happened?
but we don't see that until season 3.
Yeah.
But here, remember, one of them we find out later. Like, basically, all these things are somewhat mysterious, and you find out later. Like this, was a past event that happened. Sinclair had a flash of a potential. We find out later a potential alternate future.
In effect, what Garibaldi's doing is quantum leaping. He's quantum leaping back into himself another time. So, what happens to the Garibaldi? I'm overthinking this, but what happens to the Garibaldi's mind that's in his body at that point in time? Where does that mind go for those 2 minutes? And there can have the future Garibaldi remember it. But,
Well,
Yes, you are overthinking
I'm
it.
overthinking
His mind is where he is at any point in time. Don't
I don't care. It's too good a story.
don't sprain anything.
Oh, no.
It's too well written a story to worry about things like that.
Well, maybe,
You won't have to make it
from his perspective until this moment, that scene was just kind of like a blur in his memory, and it never really did add up until now.
And you could definitely understand how did they get anyone convinced to go to Babylon 5 when the first 3 stations are sabotaged and blown up, and then the 4th one vanishes without a trace?
Yeah.
Who in their right mind would say, "Oh, Babylon 5? Sign me right up."
Extreme sports aficionados, crazy people, thrill seekers,
People who've read the script.
There you go.
Desperate people. He's kind of desperate. That's, he's the kind of guy who spent a lot of time running away. So,
No, but my point being that you can understand why she doesn't want to go.
Yeah, but none of them ever finished. Babylon 5 finally finished. So this time it'll be different.
No, Babylon 4 went online.
That's a key point of alcoholic thinking, by the way. This time it'll be different. So it's very consistent with this character.
Babylon 4 did go online, though. It finished 1 hour afterward.
Don't leave me again. We can. All right, we're flashing back to the present where they're loading people on the transports. And so they're getting to the end of that, and are they still talking with Zathras here? Poor Zathras, he's got work to do. All right, the time distortions are getting worse. Basically, anything here that we should cover? I don't think so. But they're about to do another run out of the room thing. There we go. And that's the thing. They want to take, at least the major wants to take Zathras with him because he needs him as evidence. But I don't know. The universe has other things in store. And so we're going to see that right now. We're almost done with Babylon Squared, I believe. Oh, no. Yeah, we just have one more set of slides, but I loaded up the one we just did instead. So
I mentioned it in the chat for last week as you suggested, but I remembered where it was that I got the thing about a captain being promoted temporarily. It was Starship Troopers.
Oh,
In the book of
why am I
Starship
not surprised?
Troopers. No, look, in the book of Starship Troopers, they specifically mention that the squad's commander is a captain, but on board a ship, he is given an honorary promotion to major because there can only be one captain. But that's where I remembered it from.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Where I got it from.
Very good. And then we have here, what is it? Yeah, they're checking out. Everything's kind of like rattling and shaking and stuff.
Go back one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is Major Krantz being a little teapot?
Well, he's a bit short and stout.
Just a very unfortunate freeze frame.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he's trying to confuse Gary. Maybe he thinks Londo said he's trying to confuse him with in the hokey cokey.
It does not mean a thing.
Well, now that you said it, I guess we don't even really need to play it. But let me see here.
I swear to you, it does not mean a thing.
No, it doesn't. But this means something. We have a column that's falling down. Oh, and it takes poor Zathras to the ground.
Zathras,
oh my
goodness. No, Zathras, no. Oh, sorry, wrong stream.
We've got to help him. Too late.
No.
The major's like, let's get out of here. It's too late. And, Sinclair wants to try and help him. But, he's like, do you think I want to? We got to go, because this place is falling apart. And he's like, you can't just leave him. But Zathras says otherwise. Zathras says, you need to leave me. You have great destiny. Leave me here. Go for Zathras. But he says that go. You must listen to Zathras. Leave. Yeah, you have destiny. Yes. Leave for Zathras. I always thought that line was good. Go? Go where? All right. So, yes, Sinclair does leave and finds Garibaldi. They basically loaded up all the transport. So he's just sitting there in the last moments. Well, not sitting, standing there. The last moments, just appreciating this great ship before it goes down is what he was thinking. Little does he know that it's not going down at all.
I was about to put that in the private chat. Little does Garibaldi know.
Yeah. And Zathras knew you would. And Zathras sees somebody. Says, Zathras knew you would not leave him. And there we go. It's David Bowman.
No, I know who that is now. It's Marty McFly.
Oh.
He just needs a Walkman.
So that makes him Darth Vader.
Well, he'll pretend. From the planet Vulcan, yes.
Yeah.
From the planet. What the hell are you guys talking about?
Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah, but from the planet Vulcan.
What did I say?
Trust.
Did I not say Marty McFly?
You did.
Okay, I thought I
Yeah.
correct.
You have to understand that chat's on about an 8 to 10 second delay from when we're talking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
which is
They
extremely
haven't heard it
confusing.
yet. Yes. There's a tachyon field around our stream. Okay. Distortion field increasing. So basically it's off the scale. We saw that there. But then interesting here, we see this guy, Spaceman, and uh-oh.
Ba-da-da.
Ba-da-da. Da-da-da.
Gasp!
He looks a little older, doesn't he? I tried to
Actually,
warn
he looks a lot older, but I think they just want to emphasize the fact that it's not him from that time period.
yeah.
And scarred.
Because he's not that much older than he looks here, but I understand they needed to make a visual distinction that was clear.
Mhm.
And he
But,
has that same weird scar that so many of them have, the little right angle scar on the cheek.
yeah, almost like that one guy that investigated it.
Yeah. There's several of these. Never really figured out.
Well, it's the Babylon 5 curse. Thou shalt have a scar. But anyway, the I know and the hand there sound familiar. And so that gives you a little bit of a hint of what might be to come. And there we go. It winks out of existence and goes away. Very nice stuff there. And then it's the flight back. And do you think it was true about the Great War? Of course, Garibaldi doesn't know. Well, I think he was asking the question, and Sinclair says he doesn't know. But he wishes them luck. Yeah, you always want people fighting on the side of light to do better than the people fighting on the side of dark.
Mm-hmm.
It's still on the same mission that we have, basically. Yeah, that's the thing. When I first saw it, I was actually bothered by Zathras. It's, why are you stealing this station? I was bothered by it. Of course, you don't know what's going on, but there he kind of explains that, hey, it's the same mission. They're trying to do good, so he wishes them luck.
See,
All
now
right.
here's a pointy-haired Minbari who's a pointy-horned Minbari who's nice.
Was he nice? What did he play in this scene?
He was, I guess, he basically delivers the message to her, that we've decided that you can go and all that, but you know that it's not without risk. You may not be allowed to come back, and so, but he seemed to be. He delivered it well, and he didn't seem to be crafty about it, like he was trying to manipulate her or anything. He was just saying the way things are, and he seemed to kind of like care a little bit too. So,
Well, I must rethink my bias against pointy-headed Minbari.
Well,
I misjudge them. I have to take people as individuals, don't I?
yeah.
You're also going to notice that Lennier,
not institutions.
Lennier also has a pointy horns.
Does he?
Yeah.
But they're rounded. They're kind of rounded.
They're not as pronounced.
They're only that way because his head's so much smaller. Like he's he is a bit he's a man of slight build, and so it sort of scales down. I think the similarities of Colonel Ari Ben Zane's scar and Sinclair's is due to some laziness in the makeup department. But Sinclair's scar comes from the accident where the shrapnel pierced his helmet in the Star Fury. So,
But he does feel a darkness pressing at their backs. So he kind of knows that there's a darkness coming and kind of believes it. So he's open. But here she says, now, Valen, go with you and light your way. Little does she know what's going on at the same time on another station. Not too far away. All right. So anyway, we're going to remove this one. We have one last, just a few a handful of slides to finish off this episode. Then we're getting on to the quality of mercy, which does have some deep discussions there.
The
Oh, my
quality of mercy. Dun, dun, dun. The quality of being good.
No singing aloud. Sorry, I forgot to tell you that when
Did you just?
Aww.
you specifically said I don't really know anything about music, so I don't fit on the channel. And then B5 comes up and he's like, I can do that. So I'll just remind you by your
I
own
may not know
admission.
about music, but I know songs.
Unfortunately, when I do it, it's not
I
singing.
swear
so
to
I-
you, it does not mean a thing.
Yes. That's the song. It does not mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Okay, welcome home. Thanks. There we go. So Ivanova welcomes them home, and basically they were able to observe most of what happened. So it's like, well, they're still like, wow, so it was really true, huh? Well, yeah, you got all these transports of people from 4 years ago. Now they get to come back and try and reestablish connections with people that didn't see them for 4 years.
almost as if someone had clicked their fingers and they just disappeared for 4 years.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah, I wonder how many of their wives and girlfriends got divorced and remarried.
Yeah.
And how many of them were listed as, I guess it wasn't 7 years, so they wouldn't be dead. They'd still be listed as missing. But you can imagine the bureaucratic red tape.
Oh, man. And especially with the change of administration coming. Oh, never mind.
Oh,
Can't say
and
that.
also, like, my job, well, they already finished the space station, so you don't even have a job anymore. Oh, man.
And we do see here that the Flying Dutchman, this ghost ship of legend, never was found. So that's the whole thing. They're speculating, are we ever going to see it again? What's happening to it? Where's it going? I don't know. Nobody knows. And the Flying Dutchman would reappear again and again, but it never did.
Just
Shall we
because
say reach
Bobo
conclusion?
said that I can't, nobody knows.
The trouble we've streamed. Okay. So that's it. Oh, go ahead, Istaphoba.
Oh, well, the most of the speculation at the time the show was airing, it was very early internet, so it was mostly done on news groups on Usenet, the Babylon 5 news groups, and no other episode created the wild and vast amount of speculation and what the hell's going on as this episode did. It was very obviously very confusing at first, but also created a wide variety of possibilities that people thought the show was going to go in. And then very shortly, something's going to happen that's going to multiply those possibilities really fantastically. So,
Yeah. Well, anyway, folks, we have sadness in our hearts. But Inga, who is no longer with us, she passed on Monday. She will be remembered forever on Earworms, and she'll
Sorry to
always
hear that.
be a mascot in many ways. But she, we can't have her on cam anymore, unfortunately. But Gozer's still with us, and it looks like we're going to have some other kitties. The male that kind of encroached on our territory has been fixed. So in about 7 weeks, we'll see if he is basically going to fit in with the crowd here.
Probably not.
If not, we know there is a calico female quite like Inga in look that is wandering around, and she's pregnant.
She showed up the very next day and she's
So.
pregnant. Come on, Churchill. Come on.
There's Joe.
Yeah.
That's Circle of Life if I ever heard it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was Inga a tortoiseshell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she
Well-
have tortitude?
I think
What's that?
It's a term I've heard from friends who had a tortoiseshell. They said she has severe tortitude. A tortoiseshell attitude.
Well, I don't know.
Oh,
She's technically calico because tortoise shells don't have the white,
Ah,
and she had some white, and so she's close. I mean, they're similar breeds, but no, she had an attitude and stuff, but it was cute. It was
she
was
did
the
have
daddy's
a
girl.
character. She, oh, yeah.
I
Well,
am
Go
very
ahead.
sorry to hear about Inga, but before we start the new episode, I've got a real life situation that I need to go and take care of. So
Okay.
I will leave you in the
Oh,
capable
sorry about that,
hands
mate.
of Dutch and Archer.
All right.
It's not bad. It's just immediate. I can't really put it off. So
All
Okay,
right.
mate.
hope you can return.
have a wonderful time with the episode, and I will have you on. I'll be listening in the background. I just can't participate. So
All right. Oh, well,
Bye, everyone.
there we go. Real life
See you later, mate.
does present things that we need to do.
Yeah.
Now I did these right where we should be able to get through these before the end tonight because I basically truncated them. But we do get
If
to
I-
start with a video.
Can I say something before we start?
Sure, go ahead.
Because this is the episode, The Quality of Mercy, which comes from The Merchant of Venice.
Mm.
And if you will indulge me temporarily for just a minute, the quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth he that gives and he who takes. It is mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above this sceptered sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself, and earthly power doth then show likest gods when mercy seasons justice.
Oh,
Wow. Awesome.
Very good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
From memory. Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, there was no way I could have read that.
Very nice. It
I
is a
cannot-
beautiful, beautiful poetry.
Yeah, that's Shakespeare for you.
I'm for some really strange reason I'm more the Christmas Day speech. I'm not quite sure what that might be. Something to do with Battle of Agincourt, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, please. It's not like there were any archers there. Come on.
I know. I think it is one of the speeches, one of Shakespeare quotes, however you could, that probably has more more lines and words and phrases are used in reasonably common speech than any other I can think of. But I didn't study Shakespeare that much.
well, that was very good. Better than I could have done it. And did you want to kind of like say for some of us that are kind of like English adjuncts here, what it means?
It means mercy has a quality beyond that of man, and is something to be striven for. That it blesses everyone it touches. That it is greater than the power of kings,
Oh yeah,
and that their power is greater when they apply it.
I think it is an undervalued virtue in a way. I don't know if it's technically a virtue, but I think it can be thought of that way. Well, this is a voice that we're going to hear later. Those of you who are watching the series and have, still with us at this point. I don't know how many out there are watching it for the first time, but this is a voice you're going to hear in the future. I'm going to play a little bit now at the beginning of this episode.
And so you understand our concern, Mallory. As well as preventing other races from gaining the upper hand, we must continue to forge good relations with possible allies.
Yes, I understand, but it's not an easy process.
That guy there that we saw comes later. At this
Very
point, he
distinct
is
voice.
credited as a senator. but later he has a different position and so forth. But it's the same actor, same voice.
All I can say, every time I hear Damon Londo, I just think of one thing. It always makes me think one thing. I'm thinking pastels.
Yes. Pastels. Oh. Yeah. Well, yeah, he's a bit of an interior decorator too.
Yeah.
But basically, the idea is he's trying to communicate to Londo that you also need to make allies, not just protect us from enemies and so forth. But Londo's saying that many of the people here are not as trusting as I am. That's. But just do try, Londo. Thank you. Yeah, that's basically the idea. So we know that Londo now is thinking about, all right, his government wants him to make more allegiances. So he's got that on his mind. But we also have a little line here about what he thinks about them.
I'll be in touch. Touch this.
Touch this. Actually, I wonder what he's gesturing there. Later, we kind of find out.
We find out later. Wait, didn't? Oh, we find out in this episode. Okay.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe we do.
Yes, welcome to Plot C, which starts right here. This is where, he just leaves realizing he needs to make some more allies or something like that. And he sees Lennier there, and he asks him how long until Delenn comes back. It's going to be several days or whatever. And so he offers, he just says, I don't know much about you. And all Lennier can say is that he was born, he went to temple, and now he's here. That's it. He doesn't have anything to say about his life. And of course, Londo says that, he can, he has a busy schedule, but he could work in taking Lennier around and teaching a little bit about other alien cultures and stuff.
Yeah, they are a bit closely named for the two.
Yeah,
Lennier?
I don't know why I'm doing that right now.
Lennier is the player at the role-playing table who just doesn't write very much of a backstory for his character.
Yeah.
I mean, JMS definitely has a big backstory for him, but Lennier himself does not know his own backstory well enough to tell it.
He's very humble.
Yeah.
He's very humble. That's the whole thing. It's like part of that kind of clear your mind, clear your spirit, having no attachments, that sort of thing. He's of the third Fane of Jadomo, which is kind of like DiGiorno, but a little different. But I'll take you under my wing. So he's going to get some personal tutorials from Londo here. And yeah.
Doesn't seem it was not something he was really interested in.
Fill in your education. Well, Gavin Blackburn just said that a few minutes ago. He's like, stop trying to educate me. Although I think he'd hang. I think Gavin and Londo would have a great time. Okay, and then for the next few days, he's going to show him the Babylon 5 that he knows, that I know. Yes. Trust me.
My dear friend.
Yeah, I truncated it a bit, but there you go. Trust me. And, those people that just kind of like grab you and stuff like that. It's like, I don't know you. Why are you touching me? But anyway.
Yeah.
Touch this. Here we go.
And now you understand why I decided to go with the avatar I chose this time.
Oh, yeah? What is it?
It's me in my Colonial Marines armor.
Oh.
I thought it. I
Should
thought
we,
it was Colonial Marines. I didn't.
Should we?
Yeah.
How do I do this? I'm going to try to enlarge that. That's you right there.
I actually didn't make the connection all the times I've seen this until I actually went through the credit task. I thought, I know that. Oh, for God's sake! Of course, you idiot.
This is not to give away anything, because what I'm about to spoil is in an episode that has nothing to do with primary arc. But I find it fascinating that the two characters in the show to whom this punishment is applied are both from the Alien franchise, or at least were in the Alien franchise. Mark Rolston as Drake in Aliens,
Mm.
and Brad Dourif as Dr. Gettman in Alien
course, yeah.
Resurrection.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? I completely forgot that. But then he's
There we
been in
go.
so many. Brad Dourif's been in so many things.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go back here. I was going to reintroduce the folks to our friend Jim Norton is back as Onbuds Wellington. And I think, although this time he has a little bit more facial hair. But anyway, he's basically, I guess he's preparing to pass. Well, he's not going to pass sentence here. Basically, someone was found guilty, who we'll see in a moment, and he's going to go away and basically decide what the punishment shall be. But the sentences, there's only a few options. There's one like jail forever, and I forget what the second one is, but the one
Spacing,
that,
I think.
okay, well, that he can't do. That's
Oh.
reserved for mutiny and
Treason.
treason.
Yeah,
Those are the only two
three put-
crimes for which he could do spacing. He says that later. It's coming up.
Yeah, but the
What?
three punishments are sent back to Earth for imprisonment,
Oh,
imprisonment on the station, or the third one he's about to mention.
now that's
Yes.
that's a very interesting exception, that, because the mutiny or mutiny on the high seas and treason were the only two of crimes which were kept under English law under death penalty until the 1990s. Most death penalty, most crimes which previously had a death penalty had the death penalty removed in the 60s, I think, when they practically did away with the death penalty. But mutiny and high treason kept them until the Blair government came in and got rid of them. So that's interesting. A kind of reversed English law there.
Well, treason still remains a punishment for hanging in the United States.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's not used for it, but it's technically still on the books.
Oh dear,
Yeah.
no, Goodwin. That comes under cruel and unusual punishment. If anything does, that is cruel and unusual punishment.
What did he say? Oh dear Lord! Oh no!
They're not even going to be able.
I think
10
spacing.
years. So you're gonna. How many episodes is that going to last for? I don't know, but let's say it's like 10 or something. You'll have to watch the same 10 episodes.
I would take sliding down a razor blade into a pool of rubbing alcohol over that.
Oh,
Ooh.
you mean the longships execution method?
You mean keel hauling?
No, there's a Sidney Poitier film called The Longships. It's a 1950s movie where basically the Vikings turn up in Muslim Africa, and at one point they have this fucking great metal slide which is basically a sword on its side, and the execution method is as a seat, and literally you sat on the seat and they let you, and you go down a slide, and the blade is so sharp it literally slices the body in half as it goes down.
There you go.
Oh
But the
gosh.
Vikings, like Islam, basically was founded in around 600 A.D.
Yeah. So
So
there weren't that. Yeah, the Vikings.
There were still some Vikings around then.
Yeah, there were. Okay, hold on a second. Just let me make sure that the button switched to very short mode.
Or were they just really agitated
The last
Swedes?
No, the last official Viking invasion of England was 1066.
Oh, A.D.
Yes, where the reason King. Okay, sorry, this is going to get.
Oh,
something.
that's right.
There was-
Yeah, they were going at it in the medieval times.
Yeah, the reason
that's
that the reason that Harold lost the Battle of Hastings, one of the reasons, was that he'd marched all the way back down from Stamford Bridge in Yorkshire, where he just defeated the invasion by Harold Hardrada, who was a Viking.
All right. Well, I guess that's one thing. If you had a holodeck, you'd probably do reenactments of the battles of Hastings.
But then this is also Hollywood. Then the Longships was Hollywood history, which is one of the biggest oxymorons ever.
All right. Well, we'll trust you on that. Back to Babylon 5. So he does want God to have mercy on his soul, though. There's the word mercy again. May God have mercy on your soul. So we get the idea this is a really criminal guy going on here. And there we have the opening credits, and then we're on to the title. And I liked the where they put the title of the episode here with like this door opening up and into a dark corridor, and outside is the light. It's kind of interesting. But here we have our guest stars, which I decided to put here to make sure I didn't forget anyone. Who could forget June Lockhart, though? Now,
Yeah,
how many months ago was it that she passed?
October.
Okay, yeah.
And a slight spoiler here, doesn't really give anything away, but I can't believe they didn't have any scene where
Yeah.
she and Bill Mummy are together.
I was trying to remember that. I was trying to think, did they? But no, they didn't. Did
No.
they? They were never on screen together.
He was busy hanging out with Londo.
Yeah.
But there we go. And we'll be seeing her coming up. And then we have here Kate McNeil. Not as big a name as yeah, this is her daughter playing the daughter of the doctor that we're going to see in this episode. And then we have our friend Mark Rolston here.
All I say is that Kate McNeil filled out an American Civil War era dress very nicely in North and South.
The convention where I got to meet all the Babylon 5 folks I was telling you about, I told you I'd gone there to see Jeanette Goldstein and Rico Ross from Aliens. Mark Rolston was supposed to be there with them, but he had to cancel at the last minute because he got a job. I did the math on when this was and what movie came out with him in it. That was Rush Hour. He played an FBI agent in Rush Hour.
I thought you were going to say it was this.
No. It was well after this.
Carl Miele. All right, and then we have Damian London. And he's already, he had his scene, folks. He was the guy on the intercom there. So
I think he's going to be back.
Yeah, he comes back. Here it's just Centauri Senator.
What's in? I mean, which is another interesting thing that you notice that they do throughout Babylon 5. Even when a character disappears, they refer back to them. Like Hidoshi, for example, who is in, has been in this a couple of times. At least one point, he's mentioned in an interview or something in a later episode as former Senator Hidoshi. So when they move, even then they keep track of minor characters like that.
Yeah, the Senator Hidoshi from Earth.
Yeah.
Now we have Jim Norton's mentioned here as Onbuds Wellington. This time he doesn't have this nice Grail quester to talk to. But behind, we do have a pleasant conversation going on between Ivanova and a lady that we get the impression that she's managing something there. And Ivanova's asking, how long is the line? And she's like, well, you have to go to the end of the line. And she's like, yeah, I know. But waits till she notices that she is the commander. So, no, wait a minute. Not commander yet. Lieutenant. Still just lieutenant. Now,
Lieutenant commander.
Yeah, I'm looking for my, there we go. I got moved on to a different desktop. All right, so.
Yeah, she's a lieutenant commander.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. So she's lieutenant commander, then she becomes commander.
Correct.
Beginning of season 2.
Yep. In the military, that would be equivalent of colonel before general. No. I'm sorry. Lieutenant colonel before colonel. That's essentially what we're talking about there.
So in this case,
Okay, I'm
Lieutenant-
sorry. I'm so wrong.
Well,
I'm so
the
wrong. I'm
military is
so
kind
wrong.
of difficult to understand in some cases.
Her
'cause
rank is
it's-
essentially major, which then goes to lieutenant colonel, which is what a commander is.
okay.
Because then when you become a captain, that's the same as a colonel.
But look at this here. Dr. Franklin, she runs into him and he tells her to take her clothes off. And she's like, not without dinner and flowers.
Such great bedside manner he's showing here.
Well, he didn't look to see who was there.
That's my point.
Yeah, you would think it's like you're telling someone to take their clothes off. It's like,
Yeah, you get the feeling this is just a mass meat market where he's just like next,
Yeah.
next, like it's an HMO.
yeah. All right. Now she's basically got a problem. She's heard rumors about him operating a free clinic down below, and well, that's Franklin for you. He takes his job seriously. He actually believes in the principle of healing people, and many of these people can't afford med labs, so he wants to take it to the people. And she's mostly upset about just not knowing about it, and she's saying that, hey, she bends the rules sometimes herself, but I don't like the fact that you went around my back and so forth. You should let me know. And she even offers that, let me know, I'll pitch in. And then he actually takes her up on it and says, there's something we could find for you to do around here. So, and there we go.
Even that one throwaway line about her not being happy about this, and not she's come down because she's heard about it, and she doesn't know about that. Even that one throwaway line comes back later on. And then in season 3, when she says there's not much goes on, if something along the line, obviously I won't say what it's regarding, but something along the lines of, I'd not be doing my job if I didn't know what was going on.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, regarding Marcus and others. Yes, even that is a sort of payoff from something two seasons earlier.
All right. Yeah, good old what's his name? Oh man. Walker. What's his name? Texas Ranger. Bruce.
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris, Bruce. Bruce Lee Norris. Yeah, man. I was thinking about him because he's in a similar profession. All right, never mind, folks. Let's go on here. But she's like, all right, great. I should have kept my mouth shut. But she gets roped into doing stuff. Now we're having a meeting here, some high ups. Garibaldi, apparently this guy that's about to be sentenced, he'd like to space him about 15 times. If he could possibly do that. And Wellington over there is basically discussing the whole thing where he doesn't have the option to do that. Basically, spacing is only reserved for treason and mutiny. And of course, that will be the case because, they kind of need to have control. If you don't have control, then it all goes to pot. So that threat is always there. And that makes the stakes higher when the Babylon 5 folks get a little, shall we say, they exercise their independence a little bit later. So anyway, that's what I have right there. Now, did I have...
But Garibaldi's not a bloodthirsty maniac here. I mean, he wants this guy dead because he killed 2 lurkers and one of Garibaldi's men, and that's just the 3 we know about.
Yep. But and Garibaldi even says to Talia here, he tries to get her to see if she could kind of do a little creeping around in the mind, because she has to verify, because what they're going to go for is mind wiping, basically wiping the personality as a punishment. So the physical body continues to live, but the personality is wiped. I'm thinking, well, that's pretty much ending that person, I guess. I don't know. What are you going to do? Put him on a flash drive?
Except we see in a future episode, kind of doesn't.
Yeah.
Well-
Yeah. This comes back, folks. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like all sorts of struggles in it. All sorts of bad things can go wrong. But in any case, she has to probe the mind first as a telepath, and she's like, "This is hard on telepaths, and it's really draining going into a mind of somebody who is like a serial killer because it's so sick, it's so psychopathic that it's a really hard experience. And unfortunately, she's the only one on board, so she would have to do it herself. And Garibaldi wants her to look around, and Wellington reminds him that no, we cannot do that. You cannot look for anything outside of what's relevant to this case. So he says, just be happy, Garibaldi. You got your guilty plea or guilty ruling. So anyway, that's what's happening there is they're trying to work out this thing. But yeah, basically Talia is going to have to do it. She's going to have to go in and check his personality before and after the wipe to make sure it's been cleaned out. And that's basically it.
What a fun job.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim Norton could have. He's got that Obi-Wan Kenobi look about him.
You must do what you feel is right, of course.
Yes. But here we go. There she is, Kate McNeil, hanging out.
Very lovely lady.
And there's Stephen Franklin's come over to meet her. He's looking for a some sort of illicit health facility down
missed
there.
that the bit where he realises that there's hardly any queue, which is what's setting him down in the first place.
Yes.
Yeah,
his
I guess I
patients
missed that
dropping
line.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I missed that line. Basically, his free clinic, he was expecting more people. They're getting fewer and fewer people. And then that's when he heard about this, and he's checking it out.
Right.
And she said, oh, the healer's over there. She didn't know who this was. And so Franklin comes over, and he finds the healer and an interesting device. And she just healed this one patient. And there we go. That's the thumbnail clip right there.
And now we learn what happened to Maureen Robinson when they got back from being lost in space.
Well, we'll find out later a little more story about her, that she was an actual doctor, licensed practitioner. But she lost her license at some point, and so she's trying to fulfill her mission, basically. She wants to help others, and she's going to keep doing it. And she's got this alien device here to do it. And it's a snazzy one, I must say. And but no one knows about it because they can't make out the writing on it. So they, through trial and error, she kind of knows how it works. But
And because she knows how it works, she's fairly sure that it was actually not a healing device, but an execution device.
Well, she says that later. It's not.
No, I think she says it in this scene.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
It's when they show the alien writing, and she says, "We don't know what it says, but I've been able to determine." And then she says that.
Okay.
At least I thought it was in this scene. I could be wrong. It's happened twice.
Whatever. It does happen at some point. So no.
It's good for ailments of the flesh, the blood, and the bone. Everything from the common cold to Stafford's disease.
There we go.
She
does say that.
because she wanted to atone for a death that she caused because she was on stimulants. She abused them.
Yeah, she couldn't keep up with the extra work and all the studying and everything she had to do, so she started taking stims.
Hint, hint, Stephen.
Yep.
Yep, foreshadowing.
He actually gets this look on his face like, oh no, not stims.
Yeah.
Well, there's Kate. Well, and he finds out this is the daughter, and she's telling him, all right, can you head out now? My mother gets very tired after these sessions. But Franklin doesn't know yet. it's later he finds out that.
No, he accuses her of being a quack without any evidence.
Yeah.
That sounds like what happens in our industry as well.
Industry.
Well, when you hear what she's saying, I mean, it's ludicrous on its face. Like, oh, you just happen to find something that can cure everything, I'm sure, and you don't charge
Yeah.
anything for it. Wow. I mean, yes, first hit's free, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
She says she leaves it up to the conscience of her patients for payment.
That's true. I forgot that.
Yeah.
Remember, she's trying to atone for a death that she caused.
Oh, no. I know. I'm just going by Franklin's, playing devil's advocate here. Franklin's like, yeah, right, sure.
yeah. Well, I mean, the point
Yeah.
is that
There's a
it's
reason why no
before-
one likes Dr. Franklin.
It's before he investigates it or takes a look at it. He already
For
has-
in one scene he's mother hen, and then in another scene he's just accusing
Yeah,
people of stuff
especially
without
when it's like-
evidence.
especially when it's an alien healing device, that, hey, especially
It's
with
like,
what
you
they
don't
see with the
know.
Vorlons,
Yeah,
this
you don't know
could
what it does.
possibly be something really good,
Yeah.
And she
So-
wouldn't be stealing his business if it weren't working.
Well, he was doing a free clinic too, so it wasn't really stealing business. It was more like he had genuine concern. But yeah, that's the kind of way it is. And unfortunately, I mean, in some ways it's understandable. In some ways, though, especially this day and age where we deal with the medical system that, is very pro
Does
pharma.
questionable things.
And doesn't really.
Doesn't provide any evidence for what it pushes. Yeah.
Yes. It's amazing when you think this show was made 30. This is a little bit like The West Wing. And I know a lot of people on your side of the pond have a less fond views of that show. But a lot of the things that comes out, you think how long ago it came out and how relevant some of the things it
Totally
says to
still
modern
relevant.
things.
Yeah.
Perhaps
Agreed.
even more so in
Well,
some
at
ways.
this time, there were still like some legal things going on with big pharma and stuff, but a lot of that has disappeared over the years. They kind of handled that by, putting their ads and paying the media companies.
Oh, yeah.
Well, anyway, we want to get Colin to bed here, so let's move on with
Sorry.
Onbuds Wellington.
Poor Colin.
Yeah,
That's
no,
okay.
no, we love having you here. Now we have here Mark Rolston's about to say this very famous line. I think this is an Emmy winner right here.
Stroke off.
So right there.
Reminds me of the guy in the apartment in Fifth Element. Excuse me, sir, are you classified as human? Smoke you! Bruce Willis goes, wrong answer.
It's always interesting, I think, when sci-fi or fantasy writers have to come up with some form of swearing.
Yeah.
Because they want to get around actual swearing. I mean, like Battlestar Galactica's frack and so on.
Oh, abso-fraggin-lutely in
Or
Babylon 5.
smeg off from Red Dwarf.
Red Dwarf.
I think it's really it's interesting the way I think it's interesting with it. Obviously, I have to do it.
Yeah.
Your choice is get around it, or okay, we don't have any character ever saying it can be considered swearing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Battlestar Galactica used fracking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here it's almost that abso-fraggin-lutely.
Yep, that too.
One of the actually, I mean, curious enough, one of the best solutions that I've ever heard has nothing whatsoever to do with science fiction. Is an early sketch by the great Billy Connolly, Scottish comedian, and he's talking about swearing. But you can make up your own swear words, and they can mean what you want. And the ones he comes up with, I can still remember, is Getifa Yabasa. You say, it's from a Scottish. I get away, Yabasa. Sounds really rude, but it can mean anything you like. He says, it can mean, oh, it's a lovely bunch of wee daisies. Because you make up the words, they can mean anything you want, which is a really clever sort of sketch, I
Yeah.
think. If you're a language
The
sport.
Scottish are rather crafty.
Well, yes, aye.
Oh my goodness.
And they have to be being north of the English all these years.
Yeah. And the Romans before that.
Well,
I
well, yeah,
cannot-
yeah.
I cannot sentence you to death. But I bet he really wanted to. But basically, a life taken will not balance the loss of another life. Now, here's the thing. This is the reasoning, I guess, for this punishment. We're not killing the body. We're just wiping the personality. It's like, either way, that person's gone. Well, maybe not completely. We'll see that come up again. But the idea is, at least as far as their understanding, that person's gone. So I'm wondering, how does this, I guess it's just putting the life of the body as like something, as like it's more real or something like that, where at least we're not killing a body, we're just getting rid of the personality. But then it is something where there is service afterwards, because then the person with a new personality is then working in some way to pay their debt to the people they've injured. But then, does that new personality deserve that? You're an indentured servant for your rest of your life. That we made you. It's weird.
Thing is, the death penalty isn't about balancing loss of another life. It's about showing society that we do take this type of crime seriously enough to kill the person who did it, and only under extreme circumstances. Very few people are executed in the United States anymore. There are 55 countries that still have the death penalty. Granted, most of them are Muslim. But the other reasons are retribution. Simple and complete retribution. You did that, smack. But there's another one, and it's impossible to prove or disprove: deterrence. Showing you don't do this crime, because if you do, that will happen. Has that actually deterred people from doing things like that?
I don't know.
We can't say. We don't know.
Well,
but
if it's
those are
like even during the height of like death penalties and hangings and things like that, crime still continued. I mean, and that's why there's people that were hanged and people fried on the electric chair, because it still happened.
Yep.
But I wasn't really saying that. I'm just saying this altered form of capital punishment, I thought, was a little bit. It's a good thinker. It's a good thing to think about, and that's why this, it adds to the story and everything. But it's just kind of odd, because it's almost like saying, this new personality that we're creating that hasn't done anything wrong, that's the one that's going to be punished as far as being in service. The personality that was problematic is gone now, and I would say it still is kind of like a, capital punishment in that way, because that person is basically wiped or basically dead, and some new person in the same body is the one that has to be a servant for the rest of their life.
It's a bit tricky, yeah.
And as Dutch alluded,
Although we see later in future episodes that they do kind of program the person to want to serve.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like raising the person all over again.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I guess it is more merciful than democide. I notice in Babylon 5 that the death penalty is only applied to, I guess, crimes against the government and government officials. That's interesting. This guy is a serial killer and he won't get the death penalty. But if you betray your government, you get spaced, which is a horrible, horrible death.
Yeah.
There should be, governments should not be allowed to kill people, because governments not only make mistakes, they're corrupt as F.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's one reason why they have to have. I suspect that's one sort of almost unmentioned reason why they have telepaths involved. And as Dutch alluded to earlier on, later in the series, they come back and they revisit it, and they revisit this particular sentence and from a different angle, and they re-examine it.
Yep.
I mean, back when science fiction could actually make you think.
But this is where, the concept of mercy comes into play, because this is done as like for mercy. This is a more merciful way of handling it in their thinking. I think it avoids bloodshed, so that's interesting. That's good, but I don't know. I wonder how it feels as a personality to all of a sudden disappear.
It's tough, yeah.
To all of a sudden disappear and have your personality just. Hopefully it's quick. Yeah, the doctor does talk about.
Is the personality zooted or zooted?
Nope.
Zoot.
Spoilers, guys, spoilers.
Sometimes things are so hard to understand.
Well, there's the sentence laid down, and he describes exactly how it's going to be, and then they're going to take him away, and he starts saying, "You're all dead, and you just don't know it." So it's one of those kind of creepy statements as the person leaves. You're all dead, you just don't know it yet. And you know what? It's just a matter of time. Oh, boy. All right. That's cheerful. But in any case, he is the type of person that makes you feel uncomfortable. So anyway, we're on our next set of slides. And now what's happening? Basically, Garibaldi checks with Franklin, and Franklin does say offhand, okay, I'll make sure that this is going to be painless. I guess he's just going to check the equipment, make sure it's painless. And
Ardent Party has a good question.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Hold that thought.
Yep. Yes. Ardent Party, if you're watching the series, you will get an answer to that, or how Babylon 5 answers your question later in the series.
Yes.
Yes.
It does come back.
Yes.
But
Tubi, guys, catch it on Tubi.
Well, wait a minute.
It's not on Tubi any longer.
Yeah.
No? Where?
Yep.
Oh, no.
Oh, now, Dutch, you missed the perfect. You really missed the perfect opportunity there. You're a Shakespearean scholar as well. Tubi. Oh, not Tubi.
Oh gosh.
Anymore.
Thank you for that, Colin.
Womp womp.
I'm not the one that started.
I knew the moment that I saw it for rent on YouTube that they might have taken it off of Tubi for free. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we have to be
nutting-
very short with our clips, because those things that YouTube puts on itself, if any of this clips somehow trigger the copyright, it's not just a regular take the monetization away thing. It's like blocked until it's removed.
Yeah.
So we haven't had to do that yet, except for the first episode, but we'll see what happens here. Now, Stephen is going to make sure it's a painless process, and Garibaldi says, you could leave a little pain involved there, and Stephen's not down with that. He doesn't like to cause harm to anyone, period. And then this is something that comes up here, because Garibaldi's like saying something about, but it, what this guy did. And then he said, but it just isn't right. And then he says something about the law. And Franklin says, I didn't ask that. He was basically asking about something being morally right, not necessarily the law. But I included it because I think it's something like what Liza was talking about. There's a difference between right and wrong and the law.
It's not right.
And this is right?
It's the law.
That's not what I asked.
Exactly. is where I'm on the side of Dr. Franklin, and later he shows that he really does believe what he just told
Now, I,
Garibaldi.
I have no place in my heart for psychopathic killers or anything, so I'm not like trying
No,
to say much.
no,
I'm
no,
throwing some things out
not
to
at
think
all.
about, really.
Not at all.
But in this, it would be better serviced in some other areas about laws that are made and things to control people. And it's like, all right, this is not protecting anyone's rights. This is not, the only laws that work or should even exist, if any, is laws that protect the rights of people. If you're not protecting rights,
The
There,
the
there are
the
many.
thing the thing is, this is a big theme in Babylon 5, especially with what's going on with Psychor.
mm,
Yeah,
And so, yeah, um,
there are many who
interesting.
deserve
And then
deaths to
later
remain.
with the later when the corruption of Earth Dome is revealed in full.
but Steven says, all right, then just do me this favor because I don't know. I'm not sure he's doing I guess getting the equipment ready is what he's doing for Garibaldi. But here he's like, I need a favor from you. Can you check out this Laura Rosen? She's operating a clinic in down below. And Garibaldi says illegal. And Franklin's like, that's what I'm trying to find out. And Garibaldi says, I'll have it to you within an hour. So.
Yeah, he should have done that before accusing the lady of being a hack.
Yeah.
He could have gone as like, hey, Garibaldi, check this for me before I make any accusations.
Yeah, I
Not
mean
wrong.
yeah, it's true, but you could kind of see where he's coming from. Not that I give him an out on that. He really should have checked it out because if you're interested in science, you want to check things out before you condemn it. Too often, science condemns things that aren't convenient, and I don't mean that damn Al Gore film. Because as soon as I said the word convenient, I'm like, no.
No.
But I mean, science too much
Oh.
poo-poos on things before the test results come in. And that's what science really is. Testing and,
Yeah, science is not a
unbiased
religion. You're
results.
not
Yeah.
supposed to just trust in the science. Science isn't about trust.
Mm.
And
No,
so
science
it
is about coming up with a theory and then desperately
Yes.
doing everything in your power to disprove it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It has to be put through that process. And so, yeah.
But anyway, these two are having a night out. And there we go. They find some 90s chick dancing there in the club. And Lennier's just kind of looking at it, although he seems to
Poor
be troubled
Lennier.
at the same time. He's like,
Yeah,
"What?"
he's very, very troubled. And he knows, somehow he knows he's going to get in trouble.
Yeah. And so they're going to basically watch the dancer. I mean, we know from Malari that he likes dancers from episode 2 in season 1. And
In
then
fact,
also,
I'm saying Lennier actually also has, or to a much lesser extent, quite an interesting relationship with Londo.
yeah.
I mean, he's much less important in the storyline, but he does have an interesting. The scenes he has with Londo in some cases are very, really, really good scenes.
Yeah. I like when they mix the different characters around and have them engage one another. Especially also we get to like the relationship between Lennier and Veer. Kinda
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
two aides talking about their ambassadors.
That's a spin-off I would love to have seen.
Just don't give away the home world.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not sure it would necessarily made a long, but literally sort of the lives of, Lennier and Veer and others, the second tier down ones who probably do all the real work in a diplomatic situation.
Mm-hmm. They got to write the words on the pages, I guess. But here we go. Lennier does tell us what alcohol can do to a Mimbari, and so I guess Londo needed to switch out his drink at the end because he was going to liquor him up and found out
It's
that's
like,
not
nope.
such a good idea.
Yeah.
Uncontrollable
that.
homicidal rages.
Yeah.
The way that he says it, it's so matter of fact.
He'll have a water.
He'll have a water.
I mean, that's worse than a nun.
So there we go. Lennier has his water and Malari has his drink. And then we're looking at fine china here being sold by, I forget what her name is. Is it Jennifer Rosen? Whatever. But Kate McNeil needs to fulfill a quota. So Franklin buys something and then that kind of warms her up a bit. And they can have a talk over dinner here a little bit or lunch. And basically, excuse me, sorry, couldn't get to the mute in time. But he did the investigating with Garibaldi's help, and it turns out that this lady, her mother, is a real doctor, and the daughter's here talking about, but she was looking for something to do after she was no longer practicing, and this alien device has helped her to start serving people again. It's another person that likes to serve other people and to help other people. That agape love. And so that's basically it. She doesn't want to see her lose that thing because it's changed everything forward. She was lost before, and now she seems to be found because she has a purpose again. And that's why they're not leaving back to Earth or anything, even though they technically have the money to do it. She just doesn't want to ruin what her mother has now in just healing people. And so that's basically what the conversation was. And Franklin's like, all right, well, I can admire that, so back to these two, I guess, still staring at dancers. Yeah, Malari's bored. Lennier's just talking some boring stuff here until he mentions something about what he's doing in the temple where he's going to be studying. He's like, kill me.
He's like a grandmaster in probability studies or something like that.
And then
clearly the Mimbari count but the way hobbits do.
Yep.
Yeah, his
yes.
first year.
Do you think that's like a hat tip to Tolkien? Because
good Lord, this whole show is a hat tip to Tolkien.
Yes, you're right.
Oh yeah, I mean, come on. In fact, a buddy of mine who loved this show, sadly he passed away a few weeks ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But he had seen he saw Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, and he had not read the books. And when who's that spooky looking guy over there in the corner? Oh, he's one of them Ranger folks. And as soon as John heard that, he was like, "Oh, I know who the Rangers are. He's a good guy."
I didn't put two and two together, knowing that this show is a hat tip to the Rangers, and then Aragorn and his Rangers. Wow. Okay. Cool beans.
Or the Texas Rangers.
Or the Texas Rangers.
The eye of the Ranger is
upon you.
or to be fair, although admittedly, itself a Tolkienian reference, sort of the Ranger sort of class in fantasy as well. It's a degree of sci-fi version of the Ranger class in fantasy.
Oh yeah, I like the Ranger class in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
but in Lennier's 11th year.
So,
okay, that's
yeah.
Oh yeah, that is definitely Hobbit.
Yes.
But there we go. And so Malari's heading out because he's taking Lennier with him. He can find some use for this understanding of probabilities. So he's shifting him elsewhere. But Lennier was saying, wait a minute, I thought you could learn things about the culture by the movement of certain body parts. And Londo's like, later, we can do that later.
Yeah, he was just getting into it. And yeah, he was pulled away.
So now Talia is not into it. She's mentally preparing herself for this. And then she comes in to meet the guy that she's got to scan. And he's kind of rude and nasty and all that sort of stuff, as one might expect. But she threatens
If I were
him.
Talia, I would have refused. It's like, no, I'm not a criminal telepath. Go and pay someone else to do that.
Yeah.
It's
She
not
could-
like
she
it's not
didn't
like
have
this
to
guy's
take the
going
job.
anywhere.
I
But
think
yeah,
this
they
is
could easily
something.
bring one in.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I could see how. Well, she felt kind of, I guess, guilted into it. It's like, okay, we need to make sure this guy gets his justice, so she's going to do it. Otherwise, they would have had to wait a while. I don't know. Plus, I don't know what the requirements are for Psycor. They may be required to do any kind of justice stuff that they're asked to do.
But I mean,
Well, the thing is, it seems like telepaths that work on Babylon 5, the friendly ones are coerced into doing a lot of things, and they're not really asked. And you see this
Yeah.
later with Lita.
Mhm.
But the thing is, if I were Talia, I'd be like, no, I did not choose to be a criminal telepath. Go pay the big money to the criminal telepaths from Psycor. And yeah, this guy isn't going anywhere. They could hold him until they can fly one in, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you consider the other fact is that obviously it can't be that difficult a thing to do because she's only P5.
Well,
She-
it's not
she-
so much
she-
about it being difficult, like in that she can hack his mind without
Yeah.
a problem. Difficult emotionally with not
Oh,
having
yeah,
the
yeah.
training to,
Yeah, indeed.
or the desire to do this kind of work. And if it's we can't bring someone over. Well, I want more money for this.
She does have a little known Ironheart boost, but people don't know about that bonus skill.
Yeah, but that's just that's just psychokinesis. That's not
Yeah.
more mental strength.
Oh, but she can
5.1.
also protect herself from scans from
Right.
Bester, for example.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
We don't know that yet.
Oh, that's right. We don't know that.
I mean, I didn't know about that yet.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
this is-
anyway, yeah, we're going on here where, yeah, he doesn't want to get manhandled by the guards, so he submits to doing this scan, and she takes a little walk in his mind, and we get the nice, almost dream sequence lighting and everything. And it's not fun in there. He talks about adding people to his choir, and he starts, and you see figures emerge in the shadows of all the people he's killed, and he needs to add more and more to his choir to sing him into heaven.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
There's
how that works.
one little bit there though that this particular scene kind of does something that Babylon, or does not do something that Babylon 5 usually does, which is it normally, and I understand that generally speaking that it's dramatic requirements, but normally in Babylon 5, if they show someone's memories or they show someone inside the mind or a dream, you never see the person whose memories or dreams they are. Because if you think about it, do you ever see yourself in a dream? Do you ever remember seeing yourself when you're looking in the mirror? No, your memories or your dreams are through your own eyes.
I
And
see
normally-
myself in my dreams all the time.
Do you? Oh, fair
Well,
enough.
actually, when I can remember, I do like to look at my hands to try and get lucidity. So now and
For
then
dreaming.
I can.
For those
that's-
who don't know, while you're awake, get in the habit of looking at your hand and counting your fingers, then look away, then look back. 5 fingers both times, you're awake. Get in that habit enough, you can do it when you're asleep. You'll think something's weird here. You'll look at your hand, you have 3 fingers. You look away, you look back, you have 8 fingers. You look away, you look back, you have no hand. I'm in a dream.
Oh, that's like what happened to Chakotay in Voyager in that dream episode.
Yeah. Well, that's something that lucid That's something that lucid dreaming has been,
Oh,
doing.
Oh, the moon. The moon. If you see the moon, you're dreaming. You're still in the dream state. I thought that was a creepy, creepy episode. Oh my gosh.
But I said it is something that I had noticed in Babylon 5 that I think it stuck with me. That the few times you see that, this is, I think, the only one where you actually see the person in their own mind. Although I suppose since it's
I think
tallying,
Ivanova saw herself in a dream
she?
she had about her mother and
Oh, okay.
Psychor.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong then.
Poor Chakotay.
It also
He-
happened in a TNG episode. I'm trying to recall it right now. It was the Eyes in the Dark 2 Moon Circle episode.
Oh, the hydrogen
Yes.
that they needed for the parallel
one
ship
moon
universe
circles.
thingy,
Yes.
whatever. Yeah, the funny part was seeing what's her name? What do you call it? The empath girl? What's her
Deanna?
freaking name? Deanna, yeah, Troy kind of like floating there on a string with the the space behind her, when she was dreaming and everything. She's like floating through her dream like this, looking like the greatest American hero. Is funny.
Oh, maybe it's just me.
That was a creepy episode too.
Mhm.
Well, anyway, still creepy here. And she just had her experience with this guy. So she knows he's killed lots of people. And so she's able to confirm, yeah, bad personality there. And she's heading out. And there we go. That's the end of this slide deck. Dirt, 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 dirt.
Can you imagine somebody who's been trained with psychic abilities who becomes a serial killer, and then when his personality is about to be wiped, he has to be scanned first, and he just shows nothing but rainbows and sunshine and grassy hills and bunnies,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all the other one can see because he's been trained.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no reason to kill him. He's a good person.
Well, I don't think they use it for the judgment process. That's still regular court stuff.
Okay.
So,
Still not sure then what Talia's doing.
yeah.
They said that she needs to scan him before they do the mind wipe and then after to make sure. So she has a point of comparison. It's like, okay, yeah, this is his mind before the wipe. And yeah, I can confirm that his mind has been wiped.
Gotcha.
Well,
They did
here's
say that.
Franklin doing a little more investigation, and then he's finding out all these people that gone to this lady's clinic have been cured, or at least had their ailments reversed in some way. And so he's like, damn. So he's going to check her out again, but not before we check in with our two buddies here who are doing some gambling. And of course, Lennier's saying out loud what he's got or something stupid like that. And it's like, all right, Lennier, you could have won more money if you just would have had a poker face. But nope, he had to announce that, wow, this hand is like a probability of 5,000 to 1 or something. So everybody knew to drop out before they really lost money.
Yep.
But anyway, that was nice of Lennier. And then over here we have another lady being healed, and Franklin's brought out his tricorder, I guess. And he's just kind of scanning things from the doorway. And yeah, she gets up, and the patient's fine. She says, leave whatever you feel you can contribute in the box on the way out. And then we see her noticeably fatigued. And so Franklin noticed that, and also his instruments picked up on it, that basically she's taking her life energy and giving it to the patients. And that's when she explains that she has Lake's syndrome, which is a terminal illness, very painful and everything. But she figures, with what time she has remaining, she can at least help other people to be well. since she sees her own situation seems to already be decided. And then he just monitored her life signs, yes. And so that's where she explains the whole deal. But I have the dialogue here just in case. In case there's something really important that she says. I don't think so. But one thing, when hearing her voice, June Lockhart, you kind of hear this style of delivery from the actors that, were from her era. And it's kind of nice to hear now and then. Kind of like hearing this mature delivery. And as opposed to some of the actresses like, Sheridan's sister that comes in later, and some other ladies that come on as guest stars, and they're just kind of like bubbly and all this kind of stuff. But I don't know. We'll encounter them when we get to them. But yeah, I just really like her delivery and her voice and everything. But she's a great actress, so that's the difference right there. And she took this seriously. Okay.
And she's a monoman Lockhart as well, so that's another plus bonus in her.
Yeah, she started acting in like, I think was it like 1933?
Wow.
At the age of 8.
Good Lord.
I know she played the fiance of Alvin York in the movie Sergeant York with Gary Cooper.
Wow.
That was a 1941 movie. So
she only has about 2 years at most left, and would it work? So she's explaining the whole thing to him, and he of course admires her for it. But basically, he asks her to come by MedLab so he can check her out occasionally and make sure she's not pushing herself too hard. And so basically, he's now supportive of her clinic. And of course, he would like to learn more about the healing device. And she says, well, when I pass on, I'll give it to you, basically. So they'll be able to learn about it. And so that's the deal that they have there. Of course, it would be always great to kind of hear what, her speak, because actually her delivery is just so good that I like listening to her voice when she speaks her lines. But anyway.
And he also wants to get to know her daughter as well.
Oh, yeah. Especially in that lighting. And then here we have our Zen garden. That's where everybody goes to think. And that's where Talia was just hanging out after this, and Garibaldi comes in, and basically you see solemn expressions because she explains to him, yeah, he has killed many times before. Of course, she says it more poetically than I do, but we're moving along here. But
I'm really glad that they.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm really glad that they dropped that aspect of Garibaldi's personality in the very first episode, where he's like, telepaths, I don't trust them.
Mm-hmm.
And here he is trying to get in the pants of one.
Well, yeah, I mean,
not in this scene.
He was doing it. He was doing it all along. He was kind of following her and everything. But yeah, he doesn't trust them, but he's still attracted to her, and at the same time, also he cares in this scene. I mean, they did good jobs. He can't kind of look her completely in the eye. He has to kind of look off to the side a bit. But
he's a learning, so.
Mm-hmm. We're back here. These guys are still at it. And although Londo has something else that he's going to add to his arsenal of tricks.
Now,
is that Ambassador Kosh?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
That's feeders.
they recycled it. It looks like they recycled it. Yeah.
Yep. And the knuckling feeder.
Yeah.
The knuckling feeder. And So the audience doesn't know what's going on here. They just see that kind of thing, grabbing cards after he's wrestling with his
Ugh.
attire, and then
It's really nasty if you think about it. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But man, you can
Prehensile
grab things.
members.
Ugh.
You can grab things with the sticky part. You know?
Oh.
Why are my cards all sticky now? I don't understand.
That's what that guy's asking himself there. It's like, oh, what's this stuff? Oh,
Why do
poor
they smell
guy.
funny?
Oh my gosh.
Well, we'll come back to them, and meanwhile, we're seeing him being led away where he's going to get his mind wiped. But Officer Lou Welch, is on the elevator, and during this transfer to the elevator, Mula basically attacks Garibaldi. I was trying to get it there, but yeah, he takes out Garibaldi, and then he takes out, I guess, Welch, and he runs right into the elevator and the tubes, and he takes the tube elsewhere. And
See, by the way,
escaped.
that's why cops usually have prisoners with their hands cuffed behind them when they're moving them.
Yeah.
So they can't do stuff like that.
Well, I guess that's one thing they forgot in the future. But Garibaldi's radioing it in, and this guy's squeezing out of the elevator and stuff because they stopped it on him. But he was able to get out, and who knows where he is now. Somewhere in Brown sector. And then over here, these guys are still gambling. And then we see our little, say hello to my little friend. And then somebody took a pitcher of water.
What do every man in the audience?
Yeah. Well, remember, people don't know what this is yet, so it can't make you cringe just yet.
Oh yeah.
No, but when we see Londo's reaction, every man knows what that is now.
And it's he's tugging at it, but it won't budge. That's some heavy ice water right there.
Oh.
And
this guy
Londo,
here's like,
yeah, he's looking at the picture, wondering why is this thing jostling around? He's like, hey, are you cheating? Because as soon as he lifts it up, it's like on like some sort of spring-loaded thing. It just goes and just like retracts and stuff. So, and you see all sorts of snapping and stuff as Londo retracts his appendage back.
Yeah.
And then they get into a fight. I had to economize on slides here, but we get into a bit of a scuffle, and then they're surrounded. And Lennier brings out his good old trusted.
Is this the first episode where we find out that Lennier's an incredible martial artist?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's done through assumption because we see him do a few moves, but then here we don't really see the fight. They don't really show it. But later, he does get down with Marcus a bit. But anyway, yeah, but that's his move, the crane, some of that. What do you Kill Bill kind of stuff?
I thought that was the TV.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing, but he does this hand jive and stuff before he fights. All right, so that's the end of that one. One more set of slides, folks. We're about done. But as you see, all these plots are related to mercy. First of all, the mercy in capital punishment, the mercy in giving of her own life to aid others, and then the mercy here that these guys are going to receive. Now, hold on. Not yet. What happened? No, wait a minute. I do have one other thing first. Remember, there's supposed to be.
Yeah, you're missing a lot of stuff.
No, I did economize on this stuff, but here, no. This doesn't happen next. It's the, let me see here. Give me my controls. Okay. Yeah, here we are. This is the next deck. So, Lou Welch, who got decked in the elevator, is, just saying whatever information he has. And the doctor's thinking, oh, wait a minute, that's down around my free clinic area. So he radios in, and the lady's saying, well, we haven't had anybody all day. It's this quack. And that's when Franklin says, she's not a quack. I checked her out. But anyway, this lady says, that people have been going there instead of our clinic. And then he's like, hold on. My spidey senses are triggered. So this is, he kind of tells Lou, you tell that Garibaldi guy to get some security down there. If I'm not back in 20 minutes, something like that. So anyway, he kind of sniffs it out. And so he heads down to where the healer is. And lo and behold, yes, bad guy in there with healer, forcing her to heal him. Oh my goodness. And of course, holding a gun to the head of her daughter. You all right, Laura? I'm fine. Yeah, that's Franklin off screen asking her. She's exhausted, but she's fine. And this guy's saying, yeah, it's working. My arm's almost back to normal yet. And then, Franklin doesn't like the look of it, though. Regained the use of his arm after 20 minutes. Once it's over, though, he's going to, have a second opinion. But I don't know. He does some more threats. So it's more than just getting healed here. He's threatening the life of them, and this lady realizes, uh-oh. You promised that you were going to let us go after this. And this guy's like, oh, that'd be such a waste, I don't know what he's planning, but whatever it is, it can't be good. Then she's like, I refuse to continue. And this guy tells her, you will finish, or else I'm going to, blow your daughter's head off. I'm not going to miss from here. Because he also, I think he does brush Franklin back with a shot there. And so they see this guy's serious. So let's see what our crafty lady's going to do. She basically moves her hand somewhere else. Well, no, she lulls him into a false sense of security by putting the healing back on. But, he fires at Franklin here, and Franklin gets pushed back, and then he warns him next time he's not going to miss. And so that's when she's like, you're not going to miss. I know you won't miss. So she's determined to do something else. And that would be to take his, shall we say, his leverage away. And we have a clip.
What are you doing? Stop it!
You'll do nothing. That pain you're feeling, that agony, that's Lake's sin.
I can't play too much or else they'll make me clip it out. So there you go. But that whole speech that she does there, very convincing.
This guy was presenting a clear and present danger to her daughter, to her, even to Franklin. This is exactly the same as Han Solo saying, yes, I'll bet you have. Blam! And shooting him from under the table.
Yep.
Like there's no reason for him to shoot first. He's already made it very clear what he intends to do. He is a clear and present danger. He must be stopped.
Yeah, and this is in accordance with natural law, the universal moral law that when you infringe on another's rights, you have therefore waived your rights of not being harmed.
Yeah,
I've always had problems with complaints about that scene in the cantina anyway, because it's obviously and clearly like half of Star Wars, it's a Western, and it is a direct trope of the duel trope. And it is not who shoots first; it's who draws first. The The first person to draw is the one that shows the intent. So it's not who. If you don't shoot first, you're going to get shot. So the argument that Han shot first is stupid. Of course he shot first.
No, Han did not shoot first. Han shot. Saying he shot first implies everybody else shot second.
Actually, yeah, that's a good. That's a fair point. Yeah, he shot. He shot before the other guy could. Yeah, fair point, Dutch.
Thank you.
But yeah, what I'm saying is, has always been no. It's the same as someone who was a long time ago now training firearm use by the army. I dislike the phrase "shoot to kill." That's the only reason you shoot.
Right.
You shoot because you made a decision.
No, you can also shoot to disarm.
Yeah. You can shoot to disarm under exceptional circumstances, but most no, you don't have them. But what I'm saying is, it's a self-defense situation. It's the
in a situation like this, you're definitely shooting to kill. Yeah.
Han did nothing wrong. Yeah.
And neither did this lady. I don't like the way they treat her character after this scene.
Well, I mean, you got to admit that she is going to feel bad about it. Anytime
you're going to feel bad about it, but she was rejecting people who were telling her what you did was right and you were well within your right to do it. You shouldn't feel bad. And she's like, oh, I took a life and there's never a good reason to take a life. And it's like, I'm sorry. No, if somebody is threatening you and your daughter and Dr. Franklin and
she didn't, did she say that?
She didn't say that verbatim, but that was her attitude.
That's important.
That was her attitude. And she felt like she still had to atone for self-defense. And I'm like, lady, please.
I mean, to be fair, I can understand. I think again, it's as with anything else in this thing, it's a really good bit of writing, I think, in as much as yes, indeed, but for all those things, she's a healer. She's dedicated herself to healing, and now she's done exactly the reverse of that. For all the arguments and for all the logical arguments you can put forward, and that you may be perfectly correct. Yeah. It's not hard. Oh, where's Dutch gone? We lost Dutch.
Oh no.
It's her feeling. You can put all the logic you like, but for her point of view, and she portrays it very well, she's a healer and she's just done the opposite.
Yeah, and it makes you feel better about the character. It's not someone that feels good about it.
Sorry, he's just
No, I'm not implying that I mean, for example, if I were to have to do something in self-defense and permanently end someone, I would not feel great. No, of course not.
Oh no, yeah.
But the thing is, I would totally feel justified in defending myself, though. And this woman is implying when she spoke to Garibaldi that she did the necessary thing, but it wasn't the right thing. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. This is where the Hollywood agenda, anti-self-defense agenda comes in.
It is the right thing to do. It's just a hard thing.
Yeah.
Now,
no, that's not what she said. She said, yes, it was the necessary thing, but it wasn't the right thing. That's what she told Garibaldi. And I'm sorry. No, she did do the right thing. She absolutely did the right thing. And there was a little bit of an agenda injected in here. This anti-self-defense agenda inserted into Babylon 5.
Dutch here. I'm going to put you back on stage, but did you want to put your avatar on? You're on cam. There you go. There he's back.
Sorry about that. And yes, I definitely wanted to do that. I was actually trying to put my avatar on when you said that, but for some reason the darn computer was not letting me just hit Control E. I'm like, what are you doing?
StreamYards is a journey.
And by the way, yeah, I was listening to what you guys were saying, and it all comes to a misunderstanding of one of the 10 Commandments. It says, "Thou shalt not kill." And a lot of people
thou shalt not murder. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's thou shalt not murder. There's a big difference.
Big difference. Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, Onbuds Wellington, he's down with the real folk though. He's down with it. He knows what's right and what's wrong, and he's like, yeah, he mentioned a whole thing about clear and present danger. So he rules that she acted in self-defense, and so pretty easy right there. In fact, if Eldest Guyich was around, he might have said, "Here, hang out with this guy a little while. He'll make you feel better." But unfortunately, he couldn't be there. So yeah, she's off the hook, and everyone's in agreement. Even Franklin, he's in agreement. And so and that's where Garibaldi says, "Just so you know, you did the right thing." And that's where I don't remember exactly what she says afterwards, but she doesn't feel good about it. But I'll trust Liza in that maybe she is
Well,
feeling.
like I said, she rejected what Garibaldi was trying to tell her, and of course, and I agree with the Ardent Party. It's like you take a life, it's not going to feel good, and it shouldn't. But to tell yourself and to beat yourself up and tell yourself that you did the wrong thing, that you were selfish for wanting to save your daughter and Dr. Franklin's life, that it might have been the necessary thing, but it wasn't the right thing, is all BS. I'm sorry.
You're right.
Well,
Don't be sorry.
It's about
Yeah.
who initiates the force, who initiates the threat. And so there we go. We have more
Agreed,
discussions
Scott.
here.
I
And by the way,
agree
did
with
she-
Scott. Yeah.
She did say that her lake syndrome is now gone because she ended up
that
healing
does.
herself of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, that's where it's become clear, because that is something else they did mention here. Onbuds Wellington said, "All right, but you're going to give the healing device to the station personnel so it can be studied and can't be misused and stuff like that." They know clearly now that it is basically a corporal punishment device or capital punishment device, where it basically is used to take life from a criminal and use it to heal others. And so it's kind of like what they were doing with the mind wiping. You mind wipe the person, put in a good personality, so then that new person ends up helping or paying their debt to society. And so it's the same type of intent there. And they were just hoping to use it in like little spurts or some ways of, like in blood transfusions, that type sort of thing, where you donate a little bit of your life energy for others.
I just
them
had.
when they're in.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Nah, I was done.
I
Basically,
just
help
had a-
others
I-
who are in like a really bad way, basically.
the fact that they're calling it corporal punishment, and that's
No,
like three
I
times.
said
No, they did too.
Oh, okay.
They say corporal punishment. What if the real use of that machine is not to just kill someone outright and give their energy to somebody else, but to do it bit by bit? Like, strap them down, they can't move, feed them, water them, that's about it. And then just keep draining them as they heal next person after next person after next person after next person, no matter how long it takes. Yikes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
wow.
obviously the machine is capable of doing that. That's what she was doing with it. Willingly.
But then we needn't worry. I mean, it's just a MacGuffin of the week. It'll never come back again, will it?
That's true.
Oh,
That's true. These
oh,
sci-fi
oh,
shows, these
Oh,
sci-fi
wait,
shows
hold on a
never
second. It's
reuse
just
things.
Babylon 5.
Twice it comes back.
That's right. This is Babylon 5. There are no random MacGuffins.
Oh my gosh.
I know, right?
And even feeling guilty about having to take a life that is justified, that comes back later with Veer.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Well,
Yes,
anyway,
Veer, yes.
What do we have here? She's like telling Garibaldi about a disturbance they had there in the casino, and then when she tells him who was involved, he's like, "What?"
Yeah, she's pooping in her pants to tell him. Yeah.
And we will not poop our pants, but we also get a great scene here. All right, they're both in trouble.
If only the
And they're
room would stop spinning.
Yeah.
they're in the principal's office, and
We're in
Sinclair
space
is
station.
waiting
It's
for an
always spinning.
explanation. Well, yeah, that's what he
Mm.
says here.
Yeah.
I'm prepared to tell you everything I know about as soon as the room stops spinning. And that's what he's like. We're in a space station. We're always going to be spinning. And he's like, well, I begin to see.
Actually,
my
it's
problem."
you.
I say I thought actually when will you begin to see my problem?
Yeah, that's a bad subtitle.
Hmm.
Well,
Mr.
you begin
Lennier.
to see my problem.
Yeah, I guess Lennier may be able to help out. And Lennier says, well, it was all misunderstanding. He was showing me the ways of other cultures, and I created a fence, and I was not aware of it. And basically, he takes responsibility for the whole thing. And Malari's just staring at him like, what?
Yeah, and Sinclair doesn't buy it either.
Really? You don't think Sinclair bought it?
Well, look at his facial expression. He's like, really? I don't think so. That's not what happened.
But he does spin a very good story.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a
Perfectly
believable one.
credible. Yeah.
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 But it's still, see, it's not.
What-
He doesn't believe him still, though. He knows there was something more to the story.
Which
Yes,
will
Londo.
yet again be come at from another angle
Yeah.
in a rather important plot point later on.
Yes.
Well, yeah, Londo
Regarding
doesn't
a-
have anything to add.
Regarding a certain Minbari and a certain Centauri.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So anyway, diplomatic privileges basically give them immunity, but he's asking them to pay back the club for damages, which they agree to, or at least Lennier does, and I guess Londo will just have to take care of that too. The Minbari government paying for cleanup of a bar fight. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Sinclair's giving them a little bit of a look. And then he heads out. But here we get the explanation that in Minbari culture, it is an honor to, you're basically not supposed to lie unless you're saving someone else's honor.
Helping them save face.
Yeah.
Helping them save face, which sounds like completely moral to me. Yes. In this case, it's fine. All right. But I don't know. But in any case, yeah, so he explains that important aspect. And then Lennier does ask about what that thing was. And Londo kind of whispers to it. And we see from Lennier's reaction that, oh boy.
Poor Lennier.
He brings out
Oh.
a statue here. This is Lee. And Lee is, I guess, like Shiva, has a masculine and feminine aspect.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's pointing out the masculine aspects right there. He's like, what do you think these were? Decorations?
You think these were symbolic?
And Lennier shall take now a vow of silence and
Yes.
have many days of prayers ahead of him. I think that's
Lawrence,
Yeah.
Lawrence, this episode is nothing to sneeze at. Do you mind?
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't help it when they come. But anyway, that's what's going on there. And then we do have these farewells that we find out she has a new lease on life. And so, yeah, from 96 to 2025. Or this might have been earlier than 96. This is probably like 90. Oh, yeah, 93, 94.
Oh.
So, yeah, she had a good run. And
32 years.
yep. And yeah, and she wasn't a spring chicken there. But that's great. Anyway, but she's going to go off to see the world, and such an awful lot of world to see. And he's like makes that arrangement with her basically. No, they already had that arrangement. Now he gets the device because Wellington gave it to him. But basically, he just she asks him to take care of her daughter, but she has a feeling he'll do that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so he works the good old Franklin charm on her, and they agree to have dinner. Too bad they couldn't pay for Miss O'Neill to come back.
I was going to say, yeah.
It's a shame. Although, Franklin does get another opportunity coming up fairly soon, beginning of season 2. He does run into some lady who came aboard a starship.
Yep. And later on, he gets later on, he gets to meet a young lady who has quite a lot of fame behind her.
Yes.
And also, in fact, actually, was also, it just occurred to me, it was also in the same series that Kate McNeil was in. She was also the actress was also in North and South.
Oh.
In a more substantial role than Kate McNeil's.
I guess that was a big mini-series then, so a lot of...
And how interesting that you brought up North and South last week regarding Riker's beard.
Yeah, that's a number of interesting connections.
I can't remember. Is North and South the one where one of the heroes gets taken prisoner to a Confederate concentration camp, and he's tied up in the rain? Gagged?
Yeah, it's there's actually two interesting. There's at least two actual married couples in there because Jonathan Frakes and Jeannie Francis, and I believe they were married after that one. And James, the actor that played that character, James Reed and Wendy Kilbourne, were also married in real life as well, and they played married couple in the show.
Huh. I only asked because I had a severe sinus problem to where I couldn't breathe through my nose. I finally got that fixed a couple of years ago. But every time I saw that scene where he's like, there's a gag in his mouth, keeping him from breathing through his mouth, and it's raining, and I'm just sitting here watching this saying, I would die. It's like there's no way I'd be able to breathe. That would kill me. Holy cow.
Yeah, torture is never fun.
I must admit, I don't know. I know for various reasons. I know a lot more now than I did when I first saw that about the American Civil War. But I've always wondered how. I personally, as a Brit one, I actually found it quite interesting, quite convincing as to the way it told the story. Obviously not real characters, but I found it quite an interesting telling.
Yeah, was that the one that started with like two? I guess they were relatives or friends. I don't know, but they each had a half of $1 or something.
No, that was. I don't think so. No, this was. What's it? Patrick
Swayze.
Another
Civil War miniseries.
Blue and the Gray.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, Kathleen Bella. Sorry. No, North and South was James Reed. James Reed and Patrick Swayze, and they start off their cadets at West Point. Patrick Swayze is a Southern American, Confederates as they will become, and James Reed is a Northern one. And basically, I go through like break up. And at one point, one of the Northern family marries the daughter of Patrick Swayze's character's sister. And I go through that when I go through 2 or 3 seasons of them, based on a series of books by John Jakes, I believe.
Okay. Then that would have been another one that I've seen. So no Cavaliers and Roundheads.
No, that was I was into. Oddly, I deliberately didn't mention It's Your Version of By the Sword Divided, which was a BBC production set in the English Civil War. And that was Cavaliers and Roundheads. And again, similar sort of story where you get a family get split up, one family by being on either side of the Civil War.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting a lot of vibrations there, Dutch. So you know.
Sorry, I was typing.
No, don't worry.
So I thought probably were tapping your fingers in for a second.
But anyway, we're going to be signing off, folks. I think it's obvious our mission now. We need to finish season 1. There's 1 episode left. And what's it called? The Grassy Knoll or something? Something like that. But yeah, so we have ourselves 1 episode to go, but it's a real barn burner. And I don't know. I'm going to try and do it in 1 week, 1 episode, but there's a lot in that. There's a lot going on there. All right, folks. Anybody want to say anything before we say goodnight to everybody here? And
Archer, check out. Oh, you saw it. Good. Sorry, I was going to tell Archer to check the chat before he signs out. I put a note in there for him.
all right. I hope you do that, Archer, Sir Colin. All right. So anyway, Flavius X. Cheers, man. Great to see you there. I didn't play any of the intros for our channel members, but we need to, just before going, we should mention our channel members. We have X Flavius X, who is a stalwart supporter. We have Scott Hovid there in the chat, who's also a stalwart supporter. Here's X.
This man commands a quack legion. They wax as high as any in Rome.
Eat my shorts.
Scott is still cold up there, I think.
Yes.
And, Stitch, I don't think was able to join us tonight, but also one thing I should point out, from now on, we are also doing Ko-Fi or coffee. So anyone that wants to support the channel, there's that option there too now, because I know there are some people out there that would like to support the channel, but at the same time not support YouTube.
Stitch is here. Stitch is here.
Stitch. Oh my goodness, folks, we can't. Yeah, we can't let Stitch go unnoticed. Here we go.
Oh, I had a thought, and now I've lost it. It was right there on the tip of my tongue. Oh, it's not a thought at all. It's just a little stick insect.
Doctor Who, in fact. I think that costume would have worked for Doctor Who as well.
Perhaps.
All right, folks. So thanks for joining us.
Yes. That's why I always like it, because there's a line, there's a much later Doctor Who, the new series of Doctor Who, where River Song turns round to Amy Pond and says something along the lines of, "I always hate it when there's a wizard in a story. It always turns out to be him."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just not that version of him.
Yeah. No, that.
So I'm guessing you didn't notice your newest member.
What? There's a new member?
Yeah.
Someone's got suddenly green colored all of a sudden. I don't know who this great.
I'm looking for. I don't see. Oh, hold on. It's giving me this.
Some guy from Holland apparently. He's just got suddenly got a green.
Oh, okay. From it. Oh, yeah. So, well, thank you very much, there, Dutch one. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Well, YouTube hardly helps.
Well,
you
here's
to
what
notice things.
Yeah, I didn't see anything there. But just so you guys know, what we're going to Ko-Fi right now doesn't have anything there. It's set up, but I'm going to be posting there now and trying to see if I can have like a community thing there where there's posts and interaction and stuff like that. If that works out for that, then I'll be saying more. So let's just say that I set it up, but I need to spend time with it, and because I really want to appreciate the members and anyone that wants to support this, I definitely want to give you guys something in return. So
Yeah.
look out for
Absolutely.
that. I'm still doing YouTube. It really depends in time, how things go, but I want YouTube as an option there because a lot of people use that. So it's there, and Ko-Fi is an alternative. And then what I'm going to try to do is put some of the emojis on Ko-Fi. But the thing is, I don't think YouTube lets you use your own emojis. Like if I'm in somebody's chat, can I load up emojis and use them in YouTube, or it's only the ones that they let you use?
I think you can only use the ones for that channel.
Yeah,
So
that's what I
you've got access to
Yeah, because maybe now, I think now with your addition, Dutch will have one more to go before we can add another emoji. And so they always string you out.
Well, I'm glad to help.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. So we're going to say goodnight. We're all one big happy family now. We're going to finish season 1 of Babylon 5 next week. And
yeah,
it's a
not much
barn
happened
burner.
in that episode.
There was so much that happened that we can't talk about yet.
All right, folks. Well, thank you all for joining us. Good night. And Friday, I'll be back with some music stuff. I think we are going to do Genesis, Lamb Lies Down on Broadway on Friday. And then next Sunday, back to Babylon 5. We'll see. There may be more streams in the future as I can do more and more of this and less of what I have to do to make ends meet. We'll see what happens. All right. Thank
Thanks
you
again
all
for having me.
Hey, anytime, man.
Yeah.
You're
You guys
contributing
are
to
great.
us.
Yes.